Gabrielle Mack, and I'm here with,
Jude Husein.
and I will be interviewing her today. How are you? First, let's get started. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thank you so much for having me, Gabby. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
of course. Um, would you like to begin the first question?
Yes, let's do it.
Number one, what did you study at LaSalle, and how did you advance to your current position?
Absolutely. So I did strategic communications for my graduate degree at LaSalle, and I went to LaSalle for undergrad too. So I did political science, and I would say LaSalle really supported me with some of those technical soft skills. And so understanding how to analyze text, understanding how to write a little bit better. So those were really some of the skills that taught me to interpret different things in different manners and how to communicate with people. And so that really helped me throughout my career.
Was it discovered as a child that you like stuff like that?
I loved politics. I loved civic engagement. My mom was a community organizer. And so when I was 7 and she was taking me to all of these like community meetings, these zoning meetings, I hated my life. I never wanted to be there. But she said one day that I'd thank her. And so here I am thanking her. I started taking her places at some of these meetings. And so I always knew that I would be in community organizing, public service, working with people because I just love people.
Yeah. How did it get you to Philly Bold?
That's a really great question. So BOLT stands for Build Our Lives Together, and we're an organization that supports and empowers grassroots leaders across the city, also young people across the city. And so it was a natural fit, right? Because I'm a community organizer. My mom was. I'd walk into our house with like 30 people squished in this tiny row home because they were organizing something in the community. And so it was a natural fit that I'd go into an organization that supported communities across our city.
Did your experience at LaSalle like correlate to Philly Bolt? Did it like help you get more experience and be like more easygoing to talk to people?
Absolutely. I think when you go to school, right, you're forced to talk to so many different people. I think especially in a city like Philly, right? Like we all look different, but we're all forced to talk to each other, whether it's taking SEPTA, whether it's going to school, and same thing at LaSalle. And I was put in classes of really tiny classes. And so whether I liked it or not, I had to talk to people, but I loved it. But still, sometimes you walk in and you're like, why do I want to talk to people? But it really did force me to get out of my shell, especially with people that I had maybe nothing in common with when we first started talking.
Okay. Why did you become interested in Philly Bolt and joining?
So my friend founded the organization, and we worked together in City Hall when it came to some of the census stuff a few years back. And when she came back from business school, I was invited to a community organizing workshop that she was spearheading. And she said, I founded Bolt, and I really need support. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's make this work. Let's touch every single young person across the city. And so that's how that happened.
Did you guys start as like a small group, or was it more big as it went on?
Absolutely. So we started with 15 young people in our summer programming, in our academic year programming. And then now we reach over 80 young people. And over the academic year, we reach hundreds of young people. And so in a span of 5 years, we started with 15, and now we're at hundreds of young people. And so it wasn't 100 people we started out with. At first, it was like 7 and then 15 solid. And then here we are.
Did it become nervous, like to see everybody like expand and join the organization that started so small?
I think it always makes me, I'm a quality over quantity person. And so even if I can reach thousands of people, if the quality isn't there, if we can't provide the best of the best for young people or adult grassroots leaders, I'm like, we're not doing that. And so I think there's always a set of nerves that I feel because I want things to be the best for community. I want them to have the best materials, have the best experience. And so I'm always a little bit nervous because I just want everything to be amazing, right? But sometimes you have to let things grow and flourish. And so I get over it. I still feel it, but I get over it.
Why did you become interested in Philly Bolt?
So because I'm a community organizer, I always wanted to support other community organizers. And I think young people, I graduated from the Philadelphia Public Schools and I organized in my high school. And so it's really important to me that I empower the same young people that go to schools that I went through. And so it was just a natural fit.
That's beautiful. What was it like growing up for you as an Arab American?
So growing up as an Arab American, I grew up in a very interfaith-like home. And so I didn't know that there was intolerance of like really any kind. When you grow up in Philly, everybody's like the same.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you get on SEPTA, everybody's the same. You go to school, everybody's the same. And so I didn't realize later on that people were intolerant, that they didn't really like each other based on race
Yeah.
or based on certain identities. And so it took me a little bit to realize that. But when I did, it was really tough, right? Because people would make fun of my last name. They would make fun of my faith. They would make fun of sometimes the food that I'd be eating. And so although it was tough, I still found communities in school because although I was different from, let's just say me and you, like it was just normal. Like it's Jude, right? It's Gabby, it's whatever. And
Yeah.
so that would provide me a lot more comfort. And then also different communities, like I brought up my mom earlier. And so that interfaith piece really helped me with some of the challenges that I faced. But it wasn't always roses, but
Yeah.
there was still communities that had my back, and I really appreciate that.
When you go to school, as you're young, when you went to school, did it make you feel more comforting knowing that you wouldn't have to deal with like the outside world, like going inside and just being yourself and feeling comfortable around friends and like everyone socially?
That's a really good question. Yes, I think school was definitely one of my safe spaces. Even if there were disagreements in school, I knew that I was still safe there. And so it was okay to disagree, right? It was okay to have kind of open conversations. But yeah, it was my safe space from the outside world.
So what would you tell, say, kids my age or kids younger than me about growing up, maybe as any race or just an Arab American, just like navigating throughout like childhood?
Yeah. I would say that be open to different cultures. Like, it doesn't even matter if you look like someone, how they were raised is so different, right? Every household looks different, every
Yes.
school looks different, every block looks different. And I think just being curious for one another is so key. And I would just say, ask questions and just accept some answers. Some people, their lived
Yes.
experiences are so different, right? And you're just like, yeah, I never experienced that, but all right, cool, I'll take your word for it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think just going with it and learning more and being curious is really key.
Okay. What was some of the challenges you faced on your journey joining Philly Bolt?
I think leadership, I think everybody is a leader, but I think the more and more you bring people in, the more you have to adapt to different communication, right? And so how you ask me questions could be much different with how I ask you questions. And so adapting to some of those communication skills was like a big challenge to me because I'm just like,
Yes.
all right, this is what we got to do. Let's do it,
Yeah.
right? But some people are not like that. And I think some of the challenges that I faced on my way to Philly Bolt is just really understanding as a leader, you have to adapt. You have to pivot. You have to be able to work with everyone and anyone. And I think it started out as a challenge, and now
Yeah.
it's one of my strongest suits ever.
I agree. I think like having conversations when you, sometimes people could be nervous, or sometimes it's like you don't know how to word something. And I think adaptation is one of the key things into like leading anything, because when you adapt, then you get to grow with everybody, and everybody get to like understand.
That's right.
Yeah. What do you do now in your current position?
What do I do now in my current position? So many things, right? So as a nonprofit leader, we do everything from create programming to implementing the program to evaluating the program to fundraising to comms to going outside and meeting new people. And so no day is the same, and that's what I love. One day I'm in North Philly, one day I'm in the Northeast, one day I'm in West, one day I'm in Southwest. It doesn't matter. And I think that's one of my favorite pieces about this position is that across the city, we have so many amazing things happening, including so many amazing young people organizing, so many amazing grassroots leaders organizing, and that makes me really happy to see. So I'm doing a variety of things, and no day ever looks the same.
Did your current position and schooling like correlate to your position now?
Yeah, I think higher education really prepares you to just be disciplined, right? Like you have to start and finish something. And it's the same thing with any workplace. If you start a project, you need to finish it, right? There's
Yeah.
like no way in the middle that I'm going to be like, all right, like I don't feel like it. Maybe this will happen next year. Like you have to finish it. And I think that is one of the skills that I learned because higher education is about starting and finishing, right? You got to
Yeah.
get that diploma.
100%.
And so that's what that taught me
Yeah.
and just being able to communicate with different people.
Okay. What role do you fill? Any specifics? Or is it just a kind of like bouncing around, having fun? You know, every day, like you said, isn't the same. So, like, is it any specific thing that you mainly love to do?
Yeah. I manage almost the entire team. So 90% of the team I manage. And so I have to communicate with so many different personalities. But I also go into schools and I facilitate programming. So I support some of our teacher partners. One thing that I really love about my position, I love when young people organize a community action project that they care about. So they're
Yes.
responsible after they go through programming. They learn things like community organizing, mobilizing state government, local government, but then they're responsible with taking everything that they've learned
Yeah.
and implementing an action project. And so they get a budget. They discuss what they are passionate about. I don't ever tell them what they should care about. And that's one of my favorite pieces is that they come up with whatever they've experienced,
Just kind of
right?
hearing their ideas.
That's right. And they have to go and organize it on their own. And my favorite pieces of my position is being able to support them. They tell me what they need and I support them. And then at the end, we see this massive, whether they organized a block party
Yeah.
or they created lunches for homeless people or they fundraised to give to another nonprofit. They're in charge of doing what they think is the right thing to do in their communities. And that's one of my favorite pieces of the position.
That's beautiful. How does your current role uplift the experiences of Arab Americans in Philadelphia's community?
So I think really being an Arab American has taught me that the best piece of my culture and my tradition is that you have to welcome everyone, whether they're Arab or they're not Arab. And one of the most beautiful pieces that I think a part of my culture is hospitality and being
Yes.
generous, right? And so you'll never come over my house and not eat, right? And it's
Yeah.
the same thing within my work. So I think being a part of being Arab American is welcoming all people. And I think what I do to empower is really empowering communities across the city. And so it doesn't matter. I think one thing we have in common is being from Philly, and that's enough
Yeah.
for me, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the most beautiful pieces of my culture.
Why is it so important to do what you do?
I think there are a lot of different pieces, whether it's systems, whether it's organizations that go in and tell communities what they think or what they should feel or what they experience or what the solutions should be. But it's really important that we empower communities to be independent of systems versus dependent, right?
Yes.
Like we should listen to our community members, right? What someone faces in West Philly is much different than South Philly or Northeast Philly, right?
Yes.
And so I think it's important that part of my work is to empower those communities to cultivate change and empower them, not tell them what to do,
Yeah.
not tell them how they should feel, not tell them what the solution should be, right? But providing them
100%.
resources, guiding them, and believing in them, right? Because they walk those blocks, they breathe that air, they've gone to those schools, so they're the best suited to solve those problems in their neighborhoods.
I agree. What words would you give to Arab Americans in Philadelphia to help them with their struggles?
That I love them and I love them. And so that I think we're in this together, that I think we can always do better as communities, not just Arab Americans, but in general, to find each other. I think everybody works in silos. And I think what we can do better is just to empower one another, is to welcome more people in the community.
Yes.
I tell people when they meet me that they're Arab American too. And so that's important that we all work to build communities like that. And so I would tell Arab Americans to find each other, to know that it's not just us that's a part of the community, but it's so much more. And I think there's beauty in that.
What are some of your biggest achievements working at Philly Bolt?
Ooh. So I'm going to say a few. Is that okay with you, Gabby?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
So we are going on our fifth cohort of grassroots leaders. And
Mm-hmm.
so really proud of that. We're going to go on 5 years of cultivating and empowering grassroots leaders across the city.
And for like the ones who don't know, can you explain what that is?
Yes, that's a great question. So we have a program called School for Grassroots Leadership, where we admit 15 grassroots leaders who have a proven track record of organizing in their community. For example, one of our grassroots leaders is a Home from Shauna Foundation, and so it's led by Cleopatra Robinson, and she's combating Black maternal mortality. So she supports Black pregnant, unhoused women. So she founded the first house in the city of Philadelphia to house pregnant Black women to support them through their pregnancy journey, because the Black maternal mortality is, the rates are absolutely morbid. And so our program really cultivates leaders like that. We also, another example is Aunt Bro. And so what he does is he organizes young people across the city to utilize their creative outlets, whether it's through dance or rap or whatever the case may be. And so they go through an 8-month intensive professional development where we pay them for their time, because we know their lived experiences are just as valuable as a PhD. And so we're going on 5 years of doing this program, and we've seen such tremendous results where they rely on each other to grow their community work. So that would be one. And then two, we've impacted thousands of young people across the city to really organize on their own. One day, I hope to work myself out of a job, because every neighborhood is thriving, led by the people living there. So one day they're going to cut me a check, right? One day they're going to hire me. And that's what I pray, and why I keep doing this work, and one of my greatest achievements, I think, thus far.
I love the achievements. I think those are the best part of having the experience of whatever you love.
Yep.
What are some things you plan to do in the future?
So what are some things in general, or Philly Bolt?
Both.
Oh, wow. Let's do Philly Bolt. So we hope that our youth programming touches every single high school in the city of Philadelphia, because we believe that every young person should be civically engaged. And being civically engaged doesn't just mean voting. Voting is a huge part of it, and we need more young people to vote, 110%. But we also need young people to be engaged all year round, right? Whether that's organizing events, whether that's understanding the systems. And so our program really is a leadership career exposure program that helps young people feel empowered, right? They don't got to depend on me. They don't got to depend on their teachers. They can take those resources and really organize themselves, because young people have been at the forefront of every single piece of history, right? Whether it's the civil rights movement, whether it's even when we look at the MOVE bombing that happened here in our own city, young people are really central to that. And we got to hone in on that and really invest in them.
Yes, I agree. I think a lot of the times young people get overlooked or overspoken just because of their age. But I think that your program does a lot of listening, and it does a lot of letting young people get the experience and move on to adulthood. That has been our interview. I thank you so much, Jude, for having
Thank you, Gabby. I appreciate you.
And yeah.
Yay!
Thank you. Bye.